What's up, guys? Bear Gaming here, back with some more AFK Journey. And today we're going to be going over all the best endless teams for Relentless Rumble. So I'm going to go over some free-to-play options on each one of them, as well as pay-to-win spender-type versions, because the teams do differ very, very slightly, and the heroes you're using are, of course, very different. So let's start off with Brawl number 1. Again, we're going to go through all three of these, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you can get every one of your quests done. The points at the total just to get the invites is easy. However, getting some of these other unlocks, which include diamonds, some velvet vouchers, and even some twilight essence, will take a little bit more of a specialized team. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump right into it. If you found other teams, leave a comment down below. I'd love to see it. But as far as what I've done and what I've tested, these are the best free-to-play options and spenders. So first up, let's jump into Brawl number 1. Again, we are in Endless. I've been testing a bunch of different teams here, and I've come across one that really does wonders here. So one thing you have to remember here is that these spells are kind of limited here, which is kind of weird how they do that. I don't know why they necessarily do it, but that is the kind of reason why you're going with like lower level ones. I think that's to even the playing field, just in case people might not have the power that others do. But let's jump into this very free to play friendly squad first and foremost. So this one right here is going to be one that most people have all of these heroes. So we're going to be using a Smokey and Mirky. We're going to be using a Carolina. We are of course going to be using Lily Mae just because she is absolutely crazy. We are going to be using an Arden, and we are going to be using a Parisa. Yes, Parisa, a hero that most of you guys probably have built anyway. If you don't, that might be something that limits you here, but I'm going to show you guys this first battle right here. We're going to let the speed stay at ×2. These are those annoying enemies from the Song of Strife season, but they do tend to group up, and that does mean the damage that Parisa does can be very good. Remember, Parisa wants enemies in a clump up square, but these aren't enemies we can easily group with Aaron constantly, so that's why we're not using that type of team here. But as far as free to play goes, this is going to get you really good score. We're already up to about 20 kills at 60 seconds left, which is really good. And then when Smokey and Mirky does get his Mythic Plus third ultimate off, he's going to provide a ton of damage in this mid-game section to absolutely wreck the enemy's faces. So you can see here this team is working out very, very well. We also have Carolina, which, if again the enemies are grouping up, her snowballs are going to be able to provide a ton of extra damage. Lily Mae is here because she does some really good single target damage to finish the targets off. And then of course we also have Arden that just covers the whole battlefield with that storm cloud, doing some crazy amounts of damage. So if you guys are free to play, this is going to be one of the best teams. I feel like out of this team right here as a free to play, Parisa might be one you don't have, so that is kind of the flex spot. You can put another AoE damage dealer in there, whether it's Alsa or something like that. They can all provide pretty good damage. But again, we got 77 kills right here with this free to play oriented team, and overall it is a pretty good score there. So it got us up to rank 181. Next up, we're going to be jumping in with our pay to win style team. Now, this pay-to-win team is going to look a little bit similar, not quite though, simply because the heroes might not be ones you actually have. And a lot of these heroes that we're used to using are going to be completely gone from the mix here. So one thing this team is going to be using is a combination of Smokey and Mirky and Mikola, providing a ton of attack buffs, and most importantly, healing for a Taylene. Yes, Taylene is going to be the core of this team, and with Taylene, we're also going to be using Cassidy, targeting Taylene with her buff. Now, this team is only going to work if you have Brawl, but most people should have Brawl on their account as well. And again, we're going to be sticking with the Arcane spell. This should be by far one of the best damage dealing setups you can see here, and as you can tell, it is very pay to win. So Barail's interesting because the goal here is to hopefully get some silhouettes up. You don't necessarily need the silhouettes for this team to really do some crazy stuff, and really this one is going to take a little bit of RNG because you want Taylene to never stop casting her ultimate in this. So the hope is that you never kill all the enemies to make her stop and have to regenerate her energy. If this works perfectly, you're never going to have to take Taylene off this setup. You see the enemies are just popping up and dying almost instantly right here. They are just getting absolutely decimated with this type of squad. And you can see right there, Taylene did have to stop her ultimate because there were no enemies within range, and that slows her down quite a bit. So this is a team you might need to use very, very often and just try multiple attempts, because you might see a difference of 20 to 30 kills based on the RNG that goes on in the battle. But you can see here, we're already hitting the 100 mark. I think this is what the top teams are also using too, from what I've noticed. They've been getting 120, 130 type of kills. Now, that's not necessary if you won't mind about, you know, pushing the ranks. But you see right here, that pushed us all the way up to rank 32. Now, Brawl can be substituted out, but as far as like some of the best things, and of course right here, we want all of these extra rewards. Those are very important. That is going to be what you need. So you can see right here, 125 is the top. There's going to be RNG. If you get her to not stop casting her ultimate, that's going to get you the victory. On to Brawl number 2. Now on to Brawl number 2, we have a couple different teams you can use. They're a little bit quirky, a little bit of changes. This one is going to be probably the better option, I feel like, if you do have a Brian on your account. If you do, then this is really, really good. If you don't have a Brian, there is another team that can use Seth, but I mean, I feel like most people built Brian over Seth, so I'm going to show you guys this one as the free-to-play option. Again, if you don't have the Brian, this is gonna be really painful as a free-to-play player, because it's just like the best option. Granted, you can always drop heroes, and like if you don't have the Odie, you can throw in like Seth. This is gonna be your go-to on this one as far as kills. And Igors are tricky, which is why you want to have the Odie on this team, because remember, Odie can execute them immediately even if they have multiple tombstones up. Granted, you should have enough damage to just kill them before they have chances to spawn those tombstones to start jumping around. That's the most important part about this battle, is killing them fast enough so you don't have to kill them multiple times and jump around all these tombstones. You can see right here, this is a very good damage dealing setup. This is the free-to-play option that I highly recommend. And this is one of those sleeper heroes. Brian, I don't even have completely like fully maxed out yet, I don't think. He's definitely one of the go-to options in this Wave of Intrigue season. That's very good in so many different things. Heck, we're even using Brian in a lot of boss damage like builds too, for free to play especially. So just keep that in mind. This is going to be your go-to, the team you want to try to run as free to play. I'm also going to try to put chapters down in this video too, to make sure you guys can jump to exactly what you need. So if you guys haven't tracked that just yet, it should be down there. Last few seconds, we got about 30 something kills, which for the Igor fight is not that bad. 33 is an okay score. It's decent. And yeah, rank 129, that should be about what to expect. Now, moving on to the pay to win version, this is going to change just a little bit. So this strategy is once again going to be using Brawl. It's funny how we finally have a game mode where Brawl is like best in slot in, and this is the layout we are talking about. So we're adding Cassidy into the team once more, this time linked up with the Lily May, and again we are using both Smokey and Mirky and Mikola for this composition. This team should be doing very well. The fact that the enemies will always be isolated means we'll be able to spawn a bunch of those Brawl copies, which is really, really cool, getting more heroes on the battlefield. You can see we're getting all of these additional Igors on the field. This is why Brawl is so disgusting. Look at the number of tombstones around the battlefield. Those are all of our tombstones. Those are not any of the enemies, and this is the first time I've been like, thank goodness I've actually built Brawl on my account. He's at Mythic Plus. Actually, he might be close to Supreme, but you can see you basically have a bunch of those duplicate silhouettes all over the battlefield. If you do have him at Mythic Plus, he's going to be so much better. This is just an absolutely insane looking field of battle right here. Just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous type of teams that you're seeing here. So right now we're still getting kind of close here. We're up to 30 kills, 20 seconds left. It's not going to be a huge difference, I don't feel like, but towards the end here you can see the fight starts ramping up a lot. We're getting a ton of kills towards the end of this battle. There's literally not a spot for a tombstone on this entire battlefield. Up to 41 kills, maybe 42. Nope, 41 at the very end. So you can see this one's not a huge difference in numbers of kills between the free-to-play and spender version, but that's literally the difference of like 100 plus ranks, having that Brawl and Cassidy doing crazy stuff, Lily May doing crazy stuff, and Brawl is the MVP right there. Let's move on to Brawl number 3. So again, this shouldn't be too much of a surprise for you on Brawl number 3. We're using very similar heroes to previously. This time we are going to be using Seth as the free-to-play option here. This is probably one of the better teams that you can run here. Again, Lily May is going to be huge in this one. Brian is going to be huge, and you can notice we are running 2 support heroes. We're running both Smokey and Mirky and Mikola. Now the downside of this is Smokey does not get 100% uptime on his aura because he is going to get knocked back. He is going to get that silence right there, so just keep that in mind. This might not be the best option setup possible, but it's definitely one that can really do well. I think it's really strong overall, and just can still get a really good pack of like punch going. You do need the healing, remember, because you can see some heroes are actually taking some damage here, so this is going to be something you definitely need to keep in mind. Smokey Mirky, even if he gets interrupted, he will continue to cast his mythic plus blue aura when he becomes unsilenced, which is very important. And this is going to be one of those battles where you get kind of the fewest kills overall, I would say. This one's not one that you're going to get a crazy high amount of kills compared to the first one and even the second one, but getting reliable kills is going to be extremely important here. So let's see what we got with this squad compared to my one that I just threw in. We got 16 kills, so it's not a crazy high amount, but you can still see compared to normal teams, this is still a lot of damage. Now, Smokey Mirky might be able to be substituted out for something else. It's a hero that everybody has, which is why I'm using it though. 16 kills, rank 112, not too bad. Let's move on over to the spender version of Brawl 3. Now this final team right here is going to be the one that has the biggest change. Now what we're going to be doing is changing over to the resonating spell on this one, and this is going to be a very heavy mauler type team. Now this one here is going to be about executing the enemies as quickly as possible, and the big difference maker here is going to be the Vala. Better than Brawl teams or anything like this, Vala really packs a punch in combination with Odie able to execute the enemies, and of course we have Mikola for any type of healing plus attack buffing, Shakir and Seth right up on the front lines doing the damage right in their faces. So you can see right here the Odie is getting a lot of executions here, and I feel like we're gonna get 23, maybe 24 in this type of kill right here. But again, this is going to be a much lower number than we've experienced any other time, and again, having Odie at Mythic plus, even higher Supreme plus, is going to be big, and his exclusive kind of maxed out because that is going to let him use his ultimate over and over. As he gets these kills, he's going to refund his energy and able to apply it to the next target. So we're up to 14 with about 30 seconds left. I'm thinking maybe 21 at the very least on this, but it might pick up towards the end of this battle. It really depends on what Val is doing as well. So 18, there's kill 19, there's 20. 21 is definitely possible. Again, I think 23 is what I can get to. Maybe 22. Oh, so we barely missed the kill on that one too. This one's going to take a little bit of RNG and some attempts. I've seen people get 23 and even 24 on this one right here, and you actually take a look at the rankings for Brawl 3. 27, 28, you can even get even higher with more power. But the best part is this is going to let you guys claim out every single one of these. Instead of just throwing any random team on to get the like regular bonuses, this is going to get you all the rewards and the full 1800 points. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys next time.